As day breaks over the historic Genesee River Valley in western New York State, there is a divine place of grace, set aside for serenity, solitude, and contemplation. It is a place of blessed silence and prayer for the needs of the world. But 3 days a week, behind the scenes, this tranquil environment springs to life in a state-of-the-art bakery, where a unique brand of bread is prepared with great care in a precisely ordered operation. 10 varieties of bread, as many as 50,000 loaves each week, are baked by skilled workers in a labor of love. This is the Abbey of the Genesee, home to Trappist monks and the widely celebrated monk's bread, a monastic community ordered by worship, prayer, and penitence. Here, the monks live a life in tune with the rhythms of nature. 1,200 acres of forest and field invite the monks, lay contemplatives, and abbey visitors into prayer and deeper union with Jesus Christ. This is a world ordered by fraternal love and the rule of Saint Benedict, united in Christ and in reverent labor. In the Abbey's bakery, which has been in operation since 1956, preparations begin shortly after midnight. Soon, in contrast to the serene darkness just outside, the factory floor is a bustle of activity. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, the first batch enters the mixer at 1:50 a.m., and depending on the day's order, it might be 3 p.m. before the last baskets of bread are loaded onto the truck. Oil, powdered milk, sugar, raisins, oats, and other ingredients are stored in a 3,000 square foot warehouse, while white and wheat flour are supplied directly to huge hoppers and transferred to the mixer in 400 to 500 pound batches, propelled through pipelines by a pneumatic delivery system. This mixer is where the baking process truly begins, handling 1,200 pounds of dough at a time, which will produce roughly 1,000 finished loaves. Depending on the variety of bread, the operator may need to add ingredients such as salt, raisins, or cinnamon chips at mid-cycle. After about 20 minutes in the mixer, the entire half-ton batch is dumped into a large rolling trough, which has been sprayed lightly with oil. The mixture is covered with a weighted lid and allowed to rest, during which time it begins to rise. After sitting in a dough trough for about 50 minutes, the journey continues through a precise and careful process that has been honed through generations of experience at the Abbey. From the trough, the dough is dumped into a machine called a divider, which portions it 4 loaves at a time. A belt transfers the loaves into a device called a rounder, which uses centripetal force to compress and shape them. In the process, the portions are lightly dusted with flour to keep them from sticking to the machines. At every step in the process, workers carefully oversee the development of the dough, operating the machines, weighing the portions, checking temperatures, forming the loaves, and keeping the entire bake on track to produce up to 60 loaves per minute. As the shift stretches into dawn, into day, and sometimes well into the afternoon. After being cut into 16-ounce pieces and rounded, the loaves are allowed to rest once more in the baskets of the overhead proofer for about 3 minutes. A brother feeds empty baking pans into a machine that applies a light coating of releasing agent before they make it into the molder. The pieces of dough exit the overhead proofer and are deposited in the machine from above. The loaves are flattened by a mechanical rolling pin, then rolled by an ingeniously simple device into compact cylinders and dropped into pans. Brothers remove the pans from the line, place them on racks carrying 400 loaves apiece, and roll them into the proofing box, a climate-controlled environment where they will rise undisturbed for about 1 hour. A returning theme in the baking process and in the life of the Abbey is that the best things cannot be rushed. Indeed, it is in those moments when nothing appears to be happening that mystical and wonderful transformations occur. Away from the bustle of the main factory floor, a different kind of artistry takes place in small, handcrafted batches. The Abbey's cake bakery has operated alongside the main factory for 20 years, creating an ever-broadening array of artisan products: brownies, fruit cakes, family cakes, and cookies. Here, time and effort are no object. The creations of the cake bakery are unique and made with a level of personal investment from their bakers that is rare and reflective of the mission of this place of peaceful labor. These products are available for purchase at the Abbey store and at the online store, monksbread.com. Back on the line, the racks of risen bread are pulled out of the proofing box, finally ready for baking. The gas-fired oven is the size of a one-car garage and takes the pans on a 30-minute round trip from the shelf where they are loaded, 13 at a time, to the far end of the giant furnace and back. The oven conditions are carefully monitored to ensure the consistently wonderful and heartwarming results that have been associated with this bakery for many years. An ever-present part of every bake day is the prayer life of the monks themselves, built around a continual return to contemplation in the presence of God. The 25 monks at the Abbey pray the Liturgy of the Hours, or Divine Office, 7 times a day, every day of every year, beginning with vigils at 2:25 in the morning and ending with Compline at 6:40 in the evening. The prayers of the Divine Office are an opportunity for the monks to turn their full attention to things above, throughout the day and night, an acknowledgement by these faithful servants of the source and ultimate destination of their labor. A frequent sight in the monks' bakery is that of the brothers taking time out to pray the hours, and to acknowledge the true reason for the work, the sacred love behind all that they do. Even in this noisy factory environment, with its seeming perpetual activity, a serene peace can be felt, a spirit of brotherhood, and the blessing of a loving and ever-present God. Looking like it's ready for the table and smelling of everyone's best memories of home, the baked bread is deposited on a belt that carries it from the oven. As the loaves start to cool, they are finally freed from their pans, first loosened with a puff of air, then dumped in groups of 5 onto another conveyor, as the empty pans, still too hot to touch with the bare hand, are stacked so they can begin the process again. Once again, patience, simply waiting for a time, becomes an integral step. A huge circular cooling tower allows air to circulate around the bread as it settles after baking. Just as the monks turn themselves over to the continually transformative power of God, they must turn their own work over to the creative power of nature, loved into being by God. These moments of pause are a continual reminder that perfection cannot be rushed. It takes about 65 minutes for the bread to cool. The loaves travel from the cooling tower onto the final destination on their journey around the factory floor, the packaging area. First, they move through a slicer, and then onto one of 2 packaging machines, which quickly and efficiently place them in bags. The bags are sealed, pass through a metal detector, and then travel a final conveyor, from which workers load them into baskets of 20 loaves apiece. On a big production day, as many as 1,000 of these baskets will be filled and then loaded onto a truck, which finally pulls away 12 hours after the bakery first ground to life. The fruits of the day's labor are destined for tables all over the state, where people from all walks of life will break bread with their families, their loved ones, and by themselves. Where the care that went into every facet of the baking process finds its ultimate end, transformed into joy, into love, into an expression of the connections among people, as created and blessed by God. Here, among rolling hills, among expansive pastures, and intimate meadows, there is a place of beauty and of peace. A place where all are welcome to come, to pause, to sit a while before creation and before the Creator. From this enclave of serenity, a small community of men who have dedicated their lives to the search for God, the brothers reach out in love and in blessing to touch kitchen tables and hungry hearts for many, many miles around. This is the Abbey of the Genesee, and this is our gift to you.